My name is James Major Burns, and this is The Third Degree with me, your host, James Major Burns. And this is the safe space for myself and others to speak on things going on in our lives, in our worlds. This is a chance to share what's behind the mind of the creative, because what you see ain't always the truth. And what you think ain't always the truth. Here you get to share, laugh, live, love, and sometimes debate. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will not keep you waiting. Matter of fact, let me go back and correct myself. Ladies, gentlemen, and gender queers, everyone in between and out of the outside, all of the above and all of the below. I have a very, very special guest with me today. One of our bright, shining stars right here in Youngstown, Ohio, Ms. Ayasha LELA Gordon.
Hi, everybody.
Greeting. And the crowd goes wild. They're breaking down the doors. They're breaking down the doors. We have to get you out of here. We have to get you out of here. Greetings.
Hi, love. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm doing better. I'm doing all right.
Hey, I feel that.
You see how that came?
I feel that.
I thought, let me be real. Let me do it real. Today, I'm doing good today. I am doing well today. I've been doing better lately.
That's the truth.
How have you been?
I'm doing better as well. I'm doing better.
I'm gonna start being honest. People start asking me how I'm doing. You got to be careful because sometimes people tell you how they're doing. It happened to me one time. I'm gonna tell this story because this is so funny. It happened this was 7 years ago or so, right? Mm-hmm. Getting my car fixed. Mm. And I'm talking to this lady in there because her husband's working on, it's like a small ma and pa shop, and they were ma and pa. And she was talking to me, and I was like, yeah, how have you been? And she was like, well, I got cancer. And then she just started going into all these horrible stories. And I was just like, oh my goodness. I was just trying to make small talk. And she's telling me all of these things and just all of this business. And I was just I didn't even know what to believe. She also told me that, and it's one of those things so in 2001, one of the planes from that, I believe, now don't quote me on this, but I believe that one of the planes that I believe crashed in PA flew over Youngstown.
I believe so, yeah.
I don't know if it was that one for sure, but one of the planes flew over Youngstown. This lady is it was as low as the telephone pole. It was just so low. You could see the wheels. And I was just she said, as the telephone pole. She was I'm thinking it's going to hit the trees and whatnot. I was it wasn't that low. That's a little stretch. But you know what? You said you saw it. I don't even know if you saw it for real. You just want to be one of those people who said, I was here.
I can believe that she saw it, but I know for a fact it wasn't that damn.
How do you know it was that one though? But you want to know what though? Every time since then, when planes fly over Youngstown and they're low, it always has made me nervous. I always would stop and look up
how low are you for real?
Is this it? They dropping bombs?
Right.
I always thought something was gonna happen after that. It just freaked me out.
Just being in the house and all of a sudden you hear that shh.
How old were you in 2001? What year were you born?
1998.
Oh. So just born. Girl, I was in the 5th grade. I walked into class. First of all, I walked into school late. Let me tell you how long I've been running late, girl. I've been running late for over half my life, okay? I've been running late since elementary school because my mom gave me a house key. She used to work at our school in the office, right? Okay. So I would be at home watching Power Rangers from 8 to 8:30, and then 8:30 to about 8:55.
Something.
I would try to wait till 8:55, and then I would be all right. I literally live my school was right here. I lived right here.
Yeah.
I literally on the when people say around the corner, I literally live around the corner. You would cross one street and then turn left. That was where I lived. I could run the whole way and I'd be okay, I'm there. But I felt okay, I'm in the building it's 9 o'clock. I'm here, but I need to be in the classroom.
Exactly. I need to be there for roll call.
In my seat. And I would go to the office and be like, I'm here, because they would send attendance downstairs. So I would try to catch the student and be like, hey, mark my name. So I already knew the game. I knew the game young. Okay? I learned the game young.
Hey, clock me in.
Hey, yo, clock me in. I'm here. Yeah, text. Send a text. Hey, yo, clock me out. Right. I learned the game young. But after a while, they caught on to it. They was like, no.
Yeah,
no.
I'm gonna need you to be in that seat.
I would go to the classroom and they would be like, go back downstairs and get a tardy slip. I would be like, oh.
Dang it.
And they would be like, how is Alan getting perfect attendance every semester or every whatever those things are called, grading period?
Yeah.
But you're not. And I'm like,
because I'm at home being lazy.
watching the Power Rangers Time Force until 8:55 every morning, just late to school.
Right.
Just late to school. But I tell them, like, looking back at it, I'm like, I was never a bad student. I was just expressive and creative, and I had to be in this boring form of education. And they kept telling me that I was acting out. No, I'm showing out. Yeah, I am showing out. It's a show.
Right.
It's a show. I'm putting on a show. As soon as I saw that I had them in the palm of my hand, I'm like, oh, they laugh. Oh, they like to laugh. Oh, I got some laughs. I got some jokes.
It's the James Major Burns show.
Right. You know, they just didn't want me to
Fifth period geometry.
Right. No, girl, this was elementary school. I learned it was fourth grade. Oh, fifth grade, I knew it. I knew the game. I knew the game by fifth grade. I remember one time, so I like pulled my pants down in class. Right? I don't know why I did this. I was in the fifth grade. I pulled my pants down like, look what I did, or one of those things. Like, I'm not, like, I wasn't working with anything in the fifth grade. Like, I was just being funny.
Right.
But this boy was behind me, and like, he like, I don't know if he like grabbed them too, but I got caught, or somebody told on me, like a girl told on me. I don't want to call them out their name. Ooh, I'm like, because they used to act like they would be friends, and they gonna go tell. I'm like, how y'all gonna tell? But they should have told on my little nasty ass pulling my pants down in school. So I blamed it on this boy named David, and we're Facebook friends now today. Hey, Day. But I sure enough blamed it on him. I got him all into it, and I was committed to that. I said, David pants me. He pants me, David. Yes, David, last name here.
I'm weak.
I sure did blame him. Have you ever done something like that in school? Like blame something on somebody else knowing damn well you did it?
Oh, sure did. Because I was always the good student. I didn't really get in trouble for anything. So anytime my name was brought up, I had to make it look like it was justified for some reason.
Ooh, I was good for telling the teacher, like, well, if you're giving me a writing assignment, then she needs a writing assignment, because you didn't catch me talking to myself. You caught us talking to each other. Teachers would love to be like, well, I caught you. No, you caught us. Exactly. I know what you're saying, but this is what I'm saying. It is so funny thinking back to it now. Right. My goodness, Ayasha. You wasn't about to tell me nothing that did not make sense, or I would be like, okay, yeah, no. Like,
exactly. That don't make sense.
2 times I couldn't go to Camp Fitch because of some stupid but like because of some stupid stuff in school. And I had this art teacher. I ain't gonna say her name because I don't want to get no cease and desist. But this art teacher used to do that to me all the time. And I really was like, after I left that school, when I came back one time, I spoke to her. She didn't speak to me. I'm like, oh yeah, she really ain't care for me. She ain't care for me for real. But I don't know why, but whatever, it's whatever. And it's probably nothing serious still to this day. But she got on my last nerve. Always, I loved art. I love all of the extracurricular, like, different classes.
Exactly.
And all the time, I'm telling you to this day, y'all, I'm telling the truth. She used to cause me problems. I'm like, every time, I just want to draw. And they like, we can't talk. Why can't we talk at all? Why can't we talk at all? We got to just be quiet and draw. I get it, but come on. Some of those rules, I was just like, even with my parents sometimes, I'm like, sometimes I wasn't wrong. I know they be like, you need to, I know sometimes, even as like a kid, a child, sometimes we're not wrong.
Right. And sometimes we make a little bit too much sense.
Oh, they be damned, wouldn't they? They be damned if you make
sometimes it's just we make a little bit too much sense.
Sound too much like right.
Exactly. Like,
that's when they just shut it down. Like, okay, well, go to your room.
Exactly.
Like wait, what?
Exactly. Just go to your room. Go to your room.
My dad used to be like, out of nowhere, he would be like, so you think I'm one of your friends? I'd be like, no. Where did this just take a turn? No. I thought we were joking. And now you daddy, That's how the teachers used to be. I'm like, oh, now, okay, cool. I used to, but I know like I probably was a handful, and I couldn't imagine having a room full of 10-year-olds. I could not imagine being in charge. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, people like to be teachers. Like they were somebody asked me, would you like to work with like what grade would you do? I'm like, it's gonna have to be middle school and up for me. But I don't even know because some kids need their hands put on them. And I ain't talking about just whooped or nothing like that. But I don't know. I think I need to be a little bit more disciplined. Your kid come see me. It's 365 days in a year. I'm with your kid probably almost 200 of those days.
For a work shift?
I ain't saying I need to put the pause on your kid, but
I'm gonna need to be able to exactly.
He gonna need to feel a breeze.
I'm gonna need to be able to yoke that little
right.
Some.
I need to hop, skip, and jump the kid. I need some type of permission to discipline this kid more than just calling the parent a parent who may not do anything at all.
Exactly.
Ooh.
See, I learned a long time ago. I'm not the one to be a teacher of people younger than me. I'm just not that person.
And that's okay.
I'm just not that person.
That is okay. One time I worked at the Salvation Army, and this little kid, we had like rollerblade day. He threw a skate at my brother, and it hit his skate, and it made him fall.
Ooh.
Ayasha, I grabbed him by his arm so fast, I had to remember. He's like, I'm gonna tell my dad. I was like, tell him, because at this point I don't care. I probably was like 15 or so. I was just so mad. I went to school with his sister though, but I felt like I could explain to her and she would understand. Mm-hmm. I was like, he in there throwing skates. I reacted. I grabbed him. I was just like,
exactly.
This ain't my kid.
Exactly.
This ain't my kid. Ain't
exactly.
Nothing
This
to
is
me.
not my child.
I gotta let him go. Let him go. I had to like,
this is not my child.
I had to smack my hand. I'm like, let him go. Let him go, y'all. You know when girls be pulling each other hair, they let go. That was me. I was like, let go. Okay, let him go. Exactly. I also told this girl, she was 10 years old one time. I mean, she was 10 years old at the time. I ended up working with her when I worked at VXI. She ain't remember me though, but it's okay. She said something. She was getting on my, like she was not listening this one day. And you know me, Ayasha, I'm just quick with it. And she said something to me, and I was like, something about I said something like your mama or something.
And it just came right back out.
And she was like, I'm telling. I was just like, oh.
Just like a kid. Like, I'm finna go tell.
So this is the last funny story, and then we can get into our little conversation. I do this all the time at the beginning of podcasts. Like we're usually having a conversation before the show starts.
Exactly.
And then we just kind of like
get you ready.
You get in there, and I'm like, I'm gonna just go with the flow for now, because sometimes I have an agenda. Not the gay agenda, but just a agenda.
I'm so weak.
And sometimes something else comes up, and I'm like, oh, I'll throw that out the window. We could talk about this. This is hot. This is where it's at. This was on our hearts. Let's talk about that.
Right.
But one time, so I was in high school, and my science teacher, I thought we were cool. She used to be like, tell me who's talking, and I'm going to write them up. And I would tell her who will be talking, and she would write them up. One day, I was talking. She wrote me up. Little did I know, right? I thought I was her.
Exactly. You thought
person.
You thought you was a little left-hand man.
I thought it was her little guy, you know?
Yeah, but no, you wasn't exempt from the rule.
So I get home, right? And I'm in the den with my father. And the phone rings, and I see it says Youngstown Early College. And y'all, like, I couldn't lie to my dad. Like, I just was too afraid.
Exactly.
I couldn't physically do it. Like, I was stupid. I would be one of those dudes, like, with the juice in your hand. They'd be like, James, you got juice? I would be like, I could not lie. Like, I would try. By the third time me trying to say something, I would just be like, it was me. Like, I would try to be like, no, I didn't do that. He'd be like, Jay, I'm like, no. All right, damn it. I give up. I ain't got it. So the phone, I saw my school number popped up, and I was just like, he was like, who is that? I said, it's for me. And I picked the phone up, and I pressed the button. I was just like, hello? Like, I was so stupid, right? Like, I know I look so stupid because but I couldn't even get to the end of the hall and turn. My dad was like, bring the phone here. I was like, how did he know? Like, he was like, who is it? I was just like, here. I got written up. I'm like, this bitch. She wrote, I did not like her.
For the rest of this class.
For the rest of the school career. Like, that was 10th grade. I ain't fuck with her. Let me not even say that for sorry, y'all. I did not mess with her for the next 2 years. I was like, okay, whatever, because I'm done with science anyway. I'm going to my college class. There's nothing to say to you, bro. Oh, I was salty that I said, ooh. But my dumb self, I picked up the phone. I was like, hello? Like, I should have just walked away and be like, what's up? Like, hey, I should have just pressed a different button. But I think what I did was press the button and silence it, but the other phones are ringing in the house. So
Once upon a time when we all had house phones.
oh yeah, y'all don't know nothing about it. This was a wireless phone, but there was a cord connecting the base to the wall.
Exactly. Like, I'm not that young. I still remember. I'm a late 90s baby.
Okay, right. Period.
Late 90s.
But 90s at that. Okay?
Exactly.
Don't let the age fool you. Okay. But yeah, he got on the phone and he looking at me like crazy. You ever seen? Well, I'm sure you seen House Party.
Yes.
Remember when the dad was looking at him when he was on the phone?
Yes.
Well, that's how I felt. I was just like, I'm so stupid. Like I could have got away with this.
Oh, Lord.
But they probably would have called back. But my dad worked early in the morning. He'd be knocked out and stuff. So I'm like, they ain't gonna be able to catch him. I'm gonna just get on the phone and be like, yeah, I'm gonna call him and tell him or whatever. But my dumb self. I was so stupid. Like, I did several stupid things like that. But
Lord.
that's neither here nor there.
No, that just reminded me of the one time I got a D on my report card.
Ooh, not the D.
Yeah.
Not that. This is the other D.
Listen, I got a D on my report card. And, of course, I got home before both of my parents. And I had already knew the trick on, like, when you get, like, an envelope, you can hold it up to the light and read it. I already knew that trick. So, like, I got the envelope, got in the house, held it up to the light. I'm like, oh, shoot, what class is that in? I don't like that B no way. Anyway, because it was in math at the time. And
I would change my grade. I was that stupid.
Oh, if I had the brain process to do that, I would. But in my mind, I'm like, nope, they just didn't mail it yet. So I called myself throwing it away and hiding it in the trash. Of course, I got in trouble because my mama found it anyway.
Ooh, she probably knew like that's supposed to be coming at some anytime.
Of course, because my mother is organized like that. She know when what bill is supposed to come. She be mad when the bills come late. So she knew when my report card was supposed to be coming.
Late.
Oh yeah, she be mad when the bills come late. She like, oh no, I got the money ready. It's ready to go. I'm gonna need that bill on time so I can pay this and go about my day. That's what my mama is.
Right. Like, thank you.
Right.
That is funny. I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he was like, I would go back to high school if I could. I was like, the same way? Like, what's the logistics to this? Like, when you say go back and like just relive it, or like because you had a good time? Or like go back and like do it differently? Because I ain't going back and doing it the same way. Hell no. I had decent times at school, but it's the whole life outside of school too that happened, okay?
True. So I mean, like, and some things I wouldn't mind reliving because there was never a dull moment with me in high school. It just really wasn't. I had a lot of fun, but there was also a lot of stress at the same time. So it was like, about 50-50, go relive a couple experiences, go do a couple things differently, a lot differently. But yeah, it was a pretty 50-50 experience for me.
But are you willing to go back and change the past because where you are now would change? You know, I don't want to change even all of the craziness and things, you know. I don't want it to affect what has happened now. And that's the first thing I think of. I'm like, well, what does it affect?
True.
Am I going back to the past and living there forever? Like, am I just starting over? Like, I know that's thinking way too much in it, but I'm like, what's the legit? I don't think too many movies. Okay,
exactly. But no, that's a good way to look at it. You got to look at it from both sides. Of the
They always say that in the movies, and they're like, but you can't do this because it could change your history, your future.
Exactly. And
I love Trey, and I don't want it to change anything with my man.
Hey.
I would come back and be like, do it over. Hell, you know he's so many years younger than me anyway. Hell, I can't go back and talk to him then because he would be, 10?
Something like that.
Ooh,
it was so crazy when I found out we were the same age. I thought he was older than me.
Because don't he seem like it?
He does.
When he said he was 18 when we met, I said, excuse me? I was like, wait, you're gay? I had no idea. I was like, yeah, gay? Oh, okay. Well, you too young for me anyway, but have a nice day.
A couple years later, look how that changed.
Right. A couple of months later, he wore me out. He wore me down. And then I finally was like, I guess I like him a little bit. Oh, my God.
It'd be like that sometimes.
You know, it came around.
It'd be like that. It'd be like that.
Let's move forward, though. So, Miss Ayasha LELA Gordon. Miss Life served abundantly, Miss Black Girl Magic, Miss Queen of the Stars, Miss Soul for Your Food, Miss I Am the Earth, Miss Dancer.
Yes.
So, Ayasha, you're an artist. You know, you're born and raised in Youngstown, Ohio.
Yes, sir.
So, as I was saying to you before we started, you know, I wanted to create a space for artists in our city because, you know, as you know, the predicted text or predicted route for us to success is, you know, moving to the city, making these connections, and that's how you blow up. That's a route.
Exactly.
But there are several routes to success, and there are several definitions to success and what it means to us all. And you have been a very successful artist
Appreciate that.
in the city. I think you have done, I don't think you know the impact you've made.
I really don't.
I don't think you.
I'm gonna be 100% honest about that. I really don't.
You just because it seems like it's a love of yours, it's a passion of yours, and that's why you do it. And I think that's how we ended up linking up, or you know, with even our other friends and the people we connect with, because most of us do it for the love and do it for the passion. So one day when that cash come,
yeah.
we already gonna have the love and the passion for it.
Exactly.
You know, we doing it
it's
now.
just good. It's just when the cash come, everything will be fulfilled the way we dreamed it would be fulfilled.
Absolutely, and what we worked for.
Exactly. Blood,
So,
sweat, and tears, y'all. Blood,
I
sweat,
wanted
and
to
tears.
talk to you because I didn't want to. First, I'm not leaving anyone out, but I also want to showcase the talents that we have here, and that it is success here still, not moving anywhere. Success is not just dollar signs.
Right.
The impact that you have on people and the journeys that you help relieve pain and stress through your artistry is success, you know?
Yeah.
So when did you start dancing?
In the womb.
In the womb. Period.
Legit, like actual dance classes or just like me getting into it really. I joined Harambe when I was in the 6th grade. I tried to join, well, my mother tried to put me in way earlier because I was always an active child. I was just a busybody. I needed to do something. So, and once upon a time long ago, far away, y'all remember the African flea market that used to be at Kilcawley, YSU?
Mm-hmm.
Every first Saturday of February, like, that place used to be packed. I absolutely loved it. It was just vendors everywhere, music, dancing, and I would always get up and try to do the dances, and I pretty much knew them by the time I joined because I would always go to the African flea market with my parents. So by the time I got into 6th grade, Ms. Miller was running the after school program at my middle school, which was P. Ross Berry.
I became middle school after I was in high school.
Legit. But at the time, I was in the after school program, and of course, she incorporated Harambe into that, and that's how I joined Harambe, and I just took off from there. I was like a primary for all of, I don't know, 2 months. And then I became a traveling primary, which means I got to perform with the seniors and the juniors.
Now, when you were doing Harambe, did the boys dance?
The boys were boot dancers at the time, and that's one thing that I really started to miss because, again, middle school, we had the boot dancers, and they would travel with us, but they were all like in high school at the time. By the time I got to high school, we didn't have any more boot dancers. No more boys wanted to do it.
See, I didn't want to do boot dancing. I wanted to do Harambe.
Exactly, but we actually did. It was Imani and Thomas, if I'm not mistaken, but Thomas was much older than me at the time. Like, he was still there when I was a traveling primary, and then of course he graduated, moved on, and did what he wanted to do. But while I was a junior, we had Imani, and he was the only guy who wanted to join. By the time I became, and of course, graduated, moved on, did what he did with his life. And by the time I was a senior, we did have a guy try to join, and that was Troy Blackman. He tried, but you know, his life schedule kind of threw him off of practices and whatnot. So it was just us girls.
So when you traveled, where were you traveling to?
Oh, different high schools, different middle schools. We would do like, corporate events, weddings, just like different special events, really. Most of our traveling, of course, was during Black History Month. And our favorite performance, our absolute favorite performance, besides Kwanzaa, which would be this time a year right now, but the absolute best was this high school. Oh my goodness, where was it? I think it was like in Akron or Ashtabula, one of the two. I don't remember, but it was like a 2-hour trip away, and I just remember that they had this statue of a bulldog out front. The energy that they gave us at that school was ridiculous. Oh my gosh, I loved performing there. I vividly remember us doing this dance called Bamba, which is the dance of the butterfly, and we have these bright colored like liturgical skirts, and we just had this bright colored material, and we would be spinning and dancing, and the song that goes with the dance is a call and response song, and like the students would get up and they would like hop on the edge of the floor and dance with us. It was so much fun, and we would always do it because the school did it. They would get us to perform after they got done testing, like for their OGTs and ACTs and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So after their test week was done, we were their special treat.
The relief.
Yes. It was so much fun when we did that.
That's great. I love the joy that just came across you as you remember it. And also, the next 5, I'm going to need you to go ahead. I was over here like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. I see it now. Okay, yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for offering your services. I was like, oh, you ain't said nothing but a word. Cool. So next 5, we'll have you'll see the list, and we'll invite all of these people. Maybe we have a reunion. Who knows? But that's amazing. Like I said, I don't remember if I was allowed to do it, because I remember like 3rd grade, 4th grade, Harambe coming to the school and us seeing it, and then there was like some after school things from it. Mm-hmm. But at the time, I don't know if I remember correctly, but I thought boys could only like do drums at the time, but I'm not sure. But I just know I didn't. I might have been afraid to dance also, but I was just like, oh no, I don't want to do drums. I want to dance if I'm gonna do it. But
I just remember at my earliest stages of Harambe, it was like we did have, as far as I know, I think there were at least 2 or 1 male dancers who actually danced with the girls, and then we had a group of boot dancers, and then of course drummers. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you got to experience it, unlike me. It's like, no, but I'm glad you got to be a part of that experience going around to those schools, because those assemblies, all the kids always looked forward to them, but it's always something like that really stands out from any point that I was in school that I remember. Like, I will never forget this man coming to my school, and he was like, who are you? And I'm like, I know who I am. I know me. He's like, who are you? And he asked us all, and he's like, that's not who you are. And I'm like, who is this man gonna tell me who I am?
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But like some days later, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I don't know, you know? But I'm like, after he said, well, I can't remember what my response was, but it probably didn't really define me. Like, I could probably answer the question now, but it was, I used to watch America's Next Top Model. In Cycle 4, there was this girl. There was this girl named Michelle, Cycle 4. She came in like 6th place or 6th place. And she was 18, and she was like telling the judges how she didn't know who she was. And I remember being, however old I was, what year was that? 'Cause like 2003, 2004 or something like that. And I'm like, She doesn't know who she is. I know who I am. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I was at all. I didn't know life always was evolving, and you were always evolving at the time. Exactly. But at the time, I'm like, oh, I know who I am. But no, I had no clue, honey. But those experiences are gonna be in people's hearts forever. But it's, like I said, with it being relief, dance is one of those things that is communication, it's poetry, it's art, it's the form of expressions. It's just so wonderful.
Everything, because it's just nonverbal talking.
I know,
which is something that I'm amazing at.
Girl.
Nonverbal communication is my key set right there.
No, we not. Trey be on me. He be like, oh, you ain't think I saw that. I pick up on nonverbal communication. Oh, it's like that. Trey, I just have things Trey say ringing in my head all the time. I'm like, oh my God, get out of my head. Mm-hmm. So after Harambe, when did you get into new forms of dance?
I was still in Harambe at the time, but like just as I was starting to leave middle school, that's when the Youngstown City Schools started to change a lot. Y'all can't tell, but I just crossed my eyes. But that's when they kind of broke it down in basically 3-4 high schools, and that's when they turned Cheney into the visual performing arts and STEM program. That's how I basically got introduced into more styles.
So how did you like going there?
It was cool. It was highly disappointing at first.
I get a lot of
It was highly disappointing at
mixed
first.
reviews and some.
I mean, like,
why so disappointing?
Because we all had the expectation that it was about to be High School Musical up in that mug.
Oh, so y'all was out of y'all. Oh, y'all thought wrong.
Yes, we did. We all thought it was about to be High School Musical up in that mug, but it was
thought
just
we were
like,
all in this together.
Yes, we thought we was all in this together, but no, it wasn't that. It was just a regular high school with a couple of extracurricular classes that we actually liked.
So y'all just were. It wasn't based around art. It was.
I mean,
like, okay, you still have to like take those courses.
Exactly. We still have to take regular high school courses. You know, we had our math, our English, and all that other good jazz. But we still got a chance to discover, experiment, and learn like what we actually wanted to do with ourselves. Cause for the STEM program, you know, they had their science, technology, mathematics, all that good stuff. And some of them would be able to like take their regular classes, like maybe 1 or 2 STEM classes at Cheney, and then probably like go to Chauvin in the afternoon to take like some of their more career type choices. And for Cheney, for the visual performing arts students, it was like everything that we needed was in the school. Like we, I think we had a recording studio. Because I wasn't in the music department. I was a double dance major, dance minor.
Were you dancing with Marquise?
Yes, I was. Marquise Williams, baby. How you doing?
Yo.
Yes.
Greetings, son.
Right on. But yes, I was in several dance classes with him. But yeah, I was actually
I did not realize. You know what? I don't think of our ages when we're together because we all grown now. We're grown. You got a job. You pay bills. You get a car. Like we grown. But there's so much time in between us, and like you went to school with Michaela.
Yes, I did.
I didn't even realize that. Like,
yes, I
I'm
did.
like, oh, y'all always over there for real. Oh, y'all been doing that. That is so crazy. It's just like, oh my gosh, I didn't think about it really until just now. I'm like, oh, so y'all all just been going to school. So y'all all know each other.
Yes.
I'm like, we didn't meet when we met. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Right, but yeah, at Cheney, because I went to Cheney because they had middle school and high school. So I transitioned from P. Ross Berry to Cheney. So I went there from 8th grade to my senior year. So I actually did 5 years at Cheney.
So what new dances did you pick up on?
I got technical training in ballet. I got modern. I got a little bit of jazz.
Mm-hmm. A little bit of jazz.
Well, you know that's in the blood. But also, of course, because that was just the time where I knew I wanted to be a dancer. I was just dead set that, oh yeah, this is gonna be my career choice. And
what was it that struck you that was like, this is who I am. This is what I want. This is what I love.
because I was cold at it, and I knew I was.
Okay, and that's that.
As vain as it is, it's like, I just knew I'm cold at this. This is what I do.
This is what you were good at.
Exactly. It's like, I feel good when I'm expressing my athleticism and just at its highest peak. Like, that's, in dance is it. And of course, like,
yeah, people don't realize. Some people don't realize.
They really don't.
Athletic. That's why I feel like it really helped me. I'm like, well, I played sports my whole life, and all the hand-eye coordination and agility and accuracy and just control that you need to have, like jumping up with other strong individuals and having a balance to come back down and not hurting ourselves. That's dance.
Exactly. And I must admit, I kind of do like that debate. I like it a lot because I put a lot of people in their place with that one. When they tell me that dance or cheerleading is not a sport, because I was also a cheerleader all 4 years of high school on top of dancing.
They must be thinking about Vonnie Rogers cheerleaders. Like, those cheerleaders ain't down there doing nothing but cheers.
I was
a little couple of cheers, you know?
Exactly. I was the cheerleader on the squad with the highest jumps. I was one out of maybe 2 or 3 people, depending on the year, that could actually do a backflip.
I used to love the flipping cheerleaders. Okay, I got a friend named Azrael today. She just gave birth to a beautiful baby named Kim. And happy holidays to y'all. But she used to flip, her and this girl named Carlisha or something from Rand in the East. Oh, those girls used to flip. And then you had Jamie Ruffin from Cheney, Clank Clank Cowboys. I used to love it. I'm like, these girls out here for real, like the athleticism within the cheerleaders, put some respect on it. Like, because do a toe touch. Actually do a toe touch.
And land properly without twisting your ankle.
And when you catch, when the photography, when you see photos of things, and you see what people are putting their bodies to, extending their bodies to do, and when you can see what a human body can do, we're just walking around here with all of this greatness. And we just walking around, you know, like when people are like a little lazier and they're like, oh, I'm so tired. And I'm like, you better get the exercise you can get. Like you probably should exercise like some, but I'd be like, do y'all not walk anywhere? Like, do you not do like anything? But the lengths that the body can go to is just, it leaves me speechless. No, but it's just like, it's so amazing. And so the people who become like experts in those fields of doing those things with their bodies, as in any field, but like with your born instrument.
Exactly. God gave you a tempo, he put you in it, use it to its full advantage.
Yes. And we did Pippin a few years ago, and he didn't finish the show. One time we were learning this dance. We were learning the opening number. It was so hard. Kiva came in, literally was like, 2 minutes, I swear 2 minutes. And she was like, and the look on her face, how she was recording it all in her head, like, okay, I got it. And I'm like,
that's what we do. That's what we do
for an hour and a half. How?
That's what we do.
I saw it, like, I swear to me, I saw this thing like come up around her foot and like go around her body, and then she just had it. I was just like, how? And that day I was just like, and I know that's how she feel about like singers when it comes to singing and stuff, but I'm just like, what? How? Like, how does the mind work? Like, I'm like, I want to get my body to understand movement better like that.
And that's another thing that I love about dance, that like, it taught me what my strong skill sets are. 'Cause I am a hands-on learner as well as a listener. So it's like, I can learn it with you telling me, but you telling me and then telling me to go do it, I'll learn it 20 times better. Hence, dance. You show me a piece of choreography, I'll probably ask you to do it one more time, and then I go ahead and do it. It was just, it taught me what my strong skill sets are, just in general in life.
So you like to be the dancer versus the choreographer?
I do. I do like being the dancer versus the choreographer, but in recent years, I'm trying to push myself to step up into the choreographer's position because I have been asked.
You know you can do it.
Absolutely, I can.
It's more than just choreographing. You have to teach it. You have to arrange it. You have to direct it. So those are the other things that come into play.
Exactly. And one of the beautiful things that I've learned from working with Kiva for so long is that, like, yeah, it's a beautiful thing just to move for movement's sake, which is pretty much what I do. I just move because that's what I feel. But it's also another thing entirely to move with an intention behind it. And that's what I'm pushing myself to do nowadays.
Oh yeah, there's so much room to grow still. And so much room to learn. And even at a height or a prime, it's never the last one. Or the first anymore. So there's so much more. Like even when you reach a level you thought you couldn't reach, it's like, oh my gosh, but there's
more.
There's the endless boundaries to explore and learn new things about yourself as you grow, especially in your passion.
What mama say, just keep on living.
I'm trying, Lord. But 2020 got other plans.
Oh, for sure.
Because I'm done with 2020. Happy New Year.
Happy New
Year to you guys out there. Happy New Year. We're done with 2020. Y'all can finish it out if you want. But I'm moving on to the next. And no, it's not cheating. It's just what I'm doing.
Right on.
It's 2020 somewhere. It's 2021 somewhere. You know how they be like, it's 5 p.m. somewhere. Hell, it's 2021 somewhere, even if it's just in my mind.
Right on.
And that's on period. So, as dancers, what type of dancers do you look up to? Is there somebody that you feel like there's a career path that you can switch places with them right now?
No, not at the moment. I'm mad at how blunt that just came out.
No, I love it. That is okay.
And like, that was actually something I was asked to do recently, is to look for a dancer that I relate to and to see what they do to help improve themselves that I can implement for myself. And like, honestly, it's like, yes, I do look up to dancers, but like other dancers, but I couldn't name anybody famous right now. Like the dancer that I look up to the most is Kiva, because she has more technical training than me and she displays it so well.
And she has a career in dance. So I was gonna say, I wasn't asking as far as like a Misty Copeland or like a Chris Brown, like a famous person. I'm saying anybody with a lane, or I use careers because that is your career. Because I can't stand when people be like, well, I know you want to do that, but you got to think of your career. I'm like, it is my career.
Pretty much.
It's your career. That's what you're doing, and you're just in between gigs right now.
Right, pretty much.
You're in between gigs until we get that good gig, just like the rest of them, okay?
Right on.
And we go get that residual income one day.
Listen.
But yes, I was gonna say it doesn't have to be somebody that has millions of fans, thousands of fans. Like I was thinking maybe it would be somebody closer to you, such as Kiva, who you dance with all the time, who you spend a lot of time with.
Well, it's been going on with 6-7 years now. 6-7 years, something like that.
Listen, sometimes I don't think about how much time has gone by in between of a lot of, but what we've done in the last 2.5 years, I'm like, we really did 1,000 shows.
Dude, oh my gosh, the shows back to back to back to back. Cause like, what was it? It was Kiva show, and then it was Fab, and then y'all had like 2 plays, and then it was another Kiva show.
So from starting at 2018, if you want to go there, I will take you. I will run you down it. So we started off in 2018. We were doing Carolina Change, and then Kiva did a show, I think, in February. I think that was Love Languages.
Yes.
And then we did 2 shows in the summer. Mm-hmm. And then we also did... Kiva was supposed to do a show, but she pushed it back. Yes. So then we had like 3 shows, our show, Kiva show, and we had Silver Bells.
Yes.
But then we all ended up doing... Rocktopia's national tour. So in October, we were rehearsing for our show, Kiva's show, Mozzarella show, and then out of nowhere, Josh get us this gig, and we doing 4 shows at the same time. And then after that, we did another show in Akron. Go into 2019, Kiva and Michael was like, you need a break. I'm like, they kept telling me I need a break. I'm like, y'all not slowing down.
I remember these conversations.
I'm like,
I
y'all
do.
not
I remember
slowing down.
these
They're like,
conversations.
you doing too much. I said, I am 28. Y'all not slowing down. We ain't none of us slowing down. What we need is organization.
Legit.
We go into 2019. We did a show in, we did Hairspray in Akron.
Yes, I remember that.
We did Faf in Akron.
Yes.
And then that was February. And then we did Kiva's show probably like 2 weeks later.
Yes.
What's the second one called?
Because the second one, Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis. I'm like, mode changes. No.
Oh my gosh.
Metamorphosis.
Oh my gosh.
And then what happened after that?
Then it was Metamorphosis. Then we. Ooh, did we take a break?
Wait, is that 2019?
Yeah, that's the.
I did Shrek, and then that's when we did Dreamgirls.
Yes.
So we did Dreamgirls, and then right after Dreamgirls, me and Trey did a show. But then we did another Silver Bells.
Yes, we did do another Silver Bells.
But not before we did Solesk.
True, we did. We were doing Solesk right before.
We did Solesk in like November.
Yes, we did. No. Solesk was around Kiva's birthday. It was on Kiva's birthday.
Oh, was that in February 2020?
Yes, it was.
Oh
Yes, it was.
She didn't do nothing in November of 2019? I could have sworn she did. Maybe not.
It was probably a couple Hill classes.
Oh, maybe.
Hill classes are probably a visual.
Solesk was on her birthday?
Yes.
Wow. Solesk was this year.
Yes.
Oh, it sure was.
COVID messed up the timeline. COVID messed up the timeline because I'm like,
no, that was last year. I told you I'm done with 2020. I'm already in 2021.
I'm over here thinking to myself like, no, that was on her birthday.
That was on her. It sure was. It sure was. It just feels like 12 months ago.
Yes, it does.
My God.
Yes, it does.
Oh, child. It's just been such a long year.
Roller coaster.
But who do you have? Not that you have to have a dancer you look up to, but do you have a favorite dancer?
Me?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm loving this. Okay. I love that you think your favorite dancer, you dig enough that you don't think nobody else out there is like you. Because let me tell you, I don't know who I don't think I sound like other singers. I'm like, and not saying like because I'm just so unique and I have a better voice, but I'm like, I don't know who, I'm like, I don't think I sound like anyone, and then I don't know who I remind myself of.
True.
Because I've been influenced by like everything.
Right. I fully understand that. It's like, I definitely don't just say like I'm my favorite dancer to be vain. I say it because like, I mean,
because if you don't love yourself, how the hell you gonna love somebody else? Like, if you can't
something
love
like
you
that.
and celebrate you, how can everyone else do it?
Right, like just trying to find the right words to say it, because it's like I do admire a lot of other dancers, and I respect talent above everything else. Like, I respect everybody's talent, and I will definitely show you praise for it. I'll praise your talent above your personality if I don't like your personality.
And that's what it come down to when you don't like the personality. You be like, I don't like them, but that was a good performance. She did that.
Right on. But yeah, as far as comparing me to other dancers, I try not to compare myself to other dancers because I am sensitive in that format where I will compare myself to the point where I dislike myself.
Okay, so I'm going to let you know where that, so when you said I try not to compare myself, that took me somewhere. It took me to a movie of I'm not like other people. I have to remember what this movie was. I was stunned. I'm like, oh my gosh, this sounds just like that speech. I don't know what it is, but I am going to remember it. But I think I love the self, it's like a centering, it's a knowing of oneself that you have, that is just acceptance and just like leveled.
Right. Because like I definitely know that I have room to grow. I know I have room to grow, especially since I've been slacked off from my agility and flexibility since high school. I want that back so bad, and that's my goal for 2020 is to get my high school dancer body back. But it's like
I had an 8-pack in 10th grade. Okay,
listen,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Listen, trying to get it all back. But
I had discipline though.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the thing that I definitely need to work on. But it's like, even though I know there's room for improvement, I'm still cold.
I love me.
I'm still cold. Like, I can go back to videos that I did within the last couple months, and I'm like, yeah, I'm still cold. I did that. I still got room to grow. I can improve here. I can do something a little better there. But
hashtag I'm still cold.
I'm still cold.
And that's on that.
Period.
So where do you see dance leading you for the rest of your life?
Literally keeping me sane. It's like, cause I figured out in high school, like when I did say that was like my freshman and sophomore year, like, yeah, dance is gonna be in my career. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that with it. And then I got the chance to I actually started talking to like my dance teachers about it, like actually having a career in dance. And then one of my cousins, Lindsay Renee Benton, she's a professional dancer. She's
Shout out.
Right on. Professional dancer, what am I trying to say? A professor as well, motivational speaker, all of that good stuff. Actually, she has a scene in the new, what am I trying to say?
Coming to America?
Yes, indeed. Coming to America, she is in that, the big dancing, whoop whoop. Shout out
to
her
first, because she let me know, and I almost had a conniption because we had a very special moment where we connected because she was one of the choreographers for The Wiz, and I fell in love with her then. I'm like, and she knows Josh, and I was just like, this woman is just amazing. She reminds me of the dancing in The Wiz. When A Brand New Day, like I will never forget being young and hearing that music and seeing those dancers take those costumes off and start to move like that. I was just like, oh, I want to do that. I just want to be a part of it. It was more than the movement, though. There was so much like happiness. There was so much emotion in it. Like you said, like nonverbal communication. There was so much being said in that moment that they didn't need to say anything. And that was one of my favorite moments. But getting a chance to do it here, and she choreographed the numbers, just was like one of my, like when I think about the numbers that I've been a part of, I'm like, dance wise, because I haven't danced in so long too. I told you the other day, I'm like, I want to dance. I ain't got a 8 count or 10 count in so long. I need to dance hard. And I can dance, I can take choreography, but I can't like make up the counts. So I'm like, I need to receive something, and I need it, I need to dance. I need somebody to go ahead and throw something together so I can dance. But that number was just one of my favorite numbers that I've ever gotten to dance to. But everything that means something to me. But that's my Lindsay Renee story. I was gonna ask, like, did you dance with her at all, like growing up?
Yes.
I about to say, she ain't see all of that in you at a young age?
Yes. On top of the fact, we are blood related. That is my cousin.
You're going to be dancing if you had the talent or not, probably.
Most likely, yes. Most likely. Whether I had the talent or not, she was probably going to rope me in regardless.
Well, you're going to learn today.
Yes, you're going to learn today. But I did have the talent. And I did have the spark. And I did have the drive. I did have the determination. I wanted to do that. But one of my older cousins connected me to her. And I believe it was my sophomore year. I believe it was. It was either my sophomore year or my junior year of high school that I got the opportunity to go stay with her for the summer for one of the institutes that she was having, that her company was having, because at the time she was dancing with Garth Fagan, and he was a choreographer for the Lion King musical. So I got a chance to go up there and stay 2 weeks, I believe. It was a 2-week program. I stayed with her, and I took my classes, and we had our own performances. And of course, the company was rehearsing at the same time that the students were. And, sometimes she would have, no, not sometimes, all the time actually. Right. Like, let me tell the truth. She would have late night rehearsals. And of course, because she my older cousin, I was staying with her, didn't want me staying in the house in a strange city by myself all the time. So I would stay behind with her for her rehearsals. And I would just be in the back, and I'm like, I'm not about to sit here and just be unproductive and just be in awe and amazement. I'm gonna do the choreography. I'm gonna learn something new. Shoot.
Period.
So I was just in the back watching, like, okay, you did this, you did that, you did that. Okay, cool, boom. And I just basically entertained myself and kept up and just was practicing my numbers as well as rehearsing theirs. So from that point, I was invited to come back. I actually had an open invitation after high school or college, whichever one I decided to do, to actually come and join the company from that one experience. But life decisions kind of took me away from that.
Hey, that might have not been for you. You never know.
Right on, but I
know
was
if
blessed.
You meet back up with them, and maybe you never know when it was supposed to happen.
Right on. But I was blessed to have that experience and have that opportunity given to me. Garth Fagan actually told me himself that if I wanted to come back and join the company, I could.
And how old were you then?
I was like, I had to be like 14, 15.
So he wanted you back by the time you got out of
school. He wanted me straight out of school.
What did you do with that information when you left that day?
What did I do with that information? Besides tell my parents and actually think about the process thoroughly, because that's the one thing I was good at as a kid. I would actually think things out about my future. Present, no. My future, yes.
Yeah.
I would actually think out my future. But I believe on the ride home, me and my parents talked about it thoroughly. And it's very possible, because I don't exactly remember what I actually decided, but I'm pretty sure because of what my life is now, that like after I talked to my parents about it and talked to my cousin about it, that I decided that maybe that wasn't the best move for me. Even though I do love dance, I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life. It just may not be my cash cow.
Right. You know what? At the end of the day, a 9 to 5 in it would be good at the least.
Listen.
And nobody's saying I got to be the Denzel Washington of all of this now, but the 9 to 5 is what I'm working on. And I would like to be able to produce the 9 to 5 for myself.
Right on.
So have you ever been on like a big audition, like a dance audition?
No, not yet. I haven't been like...
For those of you sitting at home right now, I'm giving her the side eye.
I have not been to any like major production auditions yet. I just haven't. It's something that I definitely need to do. Really don't.
Something that you're going to do?
At some point in time, yes.
Is it something that you want to do?
Right now, at this point in time in my life, not 100% sure. Because right now I'm focusing on creating my own.
That is fine.
Yeah, right now,
There's no wrong answer.
Right now, I'm really just focused on creating my own. But like, if I do catch wind of a project that I really want to join, then yeah, I'm gonna scrape up the money and go.
Like, there are things happening. Like, I've been to a few auditions in Pittsburgh. I've never been to an audition in Cleveland, but they have auditions in Cleveland. Been to a few in New York and whatnot, and Ohio. So I would suggest that you go just to like even experience it.
I know, and I've always been told, like, if I don't even make it, just
I'm gonna
go.
tell you when I see stuff now.
Go, just go for the experience, and I just haven't.
I've been trying to think. I'm like, we should have been all went to something together, but just to like, it took me having a friend to be like, hey, this is happening. Like when I became friends with Josh, he would be like, this audition is happening, and this is before I had any confidence of being a performer. But he's like, just go. Like you don't know, or like you're more talented than you know. You should go to this and just go. Like I went to a Motown audition. I didn't shake hands with Berry Gordy, but he walked by me and I said, Berry Gordy, this man, he know Michael Jackson, he know Diana Ross. It's one of my greatest memories. I could cry. I was just like, oh my goodness, like I'm at the Motown house, and that's Barry Gordon. I said, oh, mother. I said, I was just like, I didn't get the job. I auditioned for Motown the Musical, and Barry Gordon was 20 feet away from me in Detroit. I'll never forget that. I don't even got no pictures. You remember the group Day 26? It was Diddy's group. One of the guys from Diddy's group, he was in the line too. I was just like, it was just one of those. We just decided to drive up there, in my old car, Scotty, rest in peace. But I was like, let's do it. It's a 3-hour drive, 3.5, whatever. Drove up there, auditioned for that show. It's like I said, I didn't get it. I went to New York for my first audition. I got a call back, and I thought it was like, I know that's right. Come on. Yes. Come on, thing. I hope that's some cash. I want to get that $600 deposit because I've been looking at my bank account all day. Can
I get some money?
Can I get that deposit when that
anything at all?
Right, because I got some things I need to fix. I always be like, money be spent before it even get to you.
Legit.
Money be spent before it even get to your goddamn account, man. I just want to be up one day. I'm just trying to get up. I'm just trying to be up.
Best quote I ever heard in life. This adulting ish is hard.
They ain't prepare us for this. I don't know what they thought they was preparing us for, but it wasn't being an adult. They tried to prepare us to do things for them and respect them. Parents and society. They didn't say this was life. Ain't nobody tell me nothing about this stuff.
Listen. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, but
I feel like in a way, yes, they don't really prepare you, but at the same time, it's like
especially school.
School ain't nothing. School don't prepare you for nothing. They don't. They
it's
just
so
don't.
It's
Period.
so
Point
upsetting. Like the things that go on at school and what they're supposed to and what they prepare you for. I'm like, so kids get tortured at school. All kids get, because it's cruelty. They learn that behavior. They get tortured at school, and then they're doing a lot of things that they're never gonna need
in the real world.
Outside of this,
I feel like
they should just go ahead and make history class a movie class.
Exactly. School is just literally a prep for your workplace. That's it. It's prep for your workplace.
Like, I should have been taken out of my class and put into some type of class where I could express myself in different ways. They knew it was going to be artistic. They should have done. All my teachers always, I knew this was going to be a route. I wish somebody would have said something when I was getting sent to the office when I kept talking. Send me to somewhere else. I love music class. I remember I contacted my music teacher from elementary school and middle school to come see one of my shows. I'm like, I'll buy you a ticket. I just want you to be here because you really helped me, influenced me in loving music. And neither one of them came. I'd be like, why not? Wasn't I special to you?
Right, out of all of your hundreds of students.
Thousands probably. Right. They're like, who, Jane? I saw one of my middle school teacher one day at Walmart. She didn't remember me. I'm like, girl, you don't remember me? I know you remember me. I know I got on your nerves.
Oh, man.
My second year in choir, I was so pissed off because the choir sucked. I was like, no, I want to go to home ec. I'm tired of not coming to school and getting no snacks. They in there cooking Rice Krispie treats, all type of stuff, pepperoni rolls.
Oh, yeah, no. By the time I got to school, there was no such thing as home ec. There was no such thing as home ec, even though we had the rooms for it.
Yeah, they did not.
There was no such thing as, home life education. There just wasn't. There wasn't. I mean, seriously,
no preparation.
Literally, think about it. When your parents were in school, they learned how to build a car. They learned how to sew. They learned how to clean. They learned how to cook. They learned how to balance a checkbook. By the time you got to high school, all you got was cooking, cars, maybe a checkbook. I got to high school. All I learned how to do was work a checkbook.
They didn't even teach me how to balance a checkbook.
That's all I got. And that was my senior year of high school by choice.
Ain't nobody even writing checks no more. Barely.
How many people know how to actually write in cursive besides your name? And not just some squiggly lines, actually write in cursive.
They say we don't really need it no more. It's just the way history gets rewritten all the time. Even with the queer community and people are like, things are changing. I'm like, things are always going to change because the world we live in today that's comfortable for us is not comfortable for the new generation because there are new different type of people. We're different. We're people, but it's different types. Right. What we're used to, what's been subliminally taught to us. There's a new subliminal message now taught to the newer generations, just like it was to our parents. and the parents that came before them and the parents that came before them. But the world, and these are things I've been realizing in the last year. It's like this section, and then this is how most people are going to feel, and this is society, and the society starts to feel like a new way. Just how people say the kids today are like a lot more reckless with danger than they were before, which I'm like, yeah, I get it. But sometimes it looks worse in this time. Sometimes it looks worse in this
I feel like every generation feels like the generation coming after them is worse. And it's true.
It is.
Every generation feel like that.
Fault.
Exactly. Every generation
It's
feel
all
like
our
that.
fault.
Every generation feel like that. And it's like, it's weird when you feel like you're the middle child in this situation.
But they feel like it's like this fire that's coming that nobody wants to put like this fire in a box or anything. I'm going through things that I'm like, I just don't want to accept certain things anymore. We have to know better. But when like other people are involved, I can't be in charge or force people to like do things or think that my way is like the right way. But I want to have just thorough communication.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Oh
And like the way we think, like one thing that boils my blood is like when, like like men just feel like everything have to be like masculine. And I was talking to somebody the other day and he was like, he kept saying soft. And I was like, what is soft?
Exactly.
What is soft? And he tried to explain it as something. I'm like, that's not what you mean. Like you can use this bogus ass excuse, but it's emotion to you. Like it's not okay. But I'm like, I ain't even gonna get into this conversation because it's like kind of like a dead end. Like I already know that's how you feel, but I'm just like, soft.
I feel like the world would simply be a better place if everybody simply agrees to disagree. It's not hard. It is not hard.
We gotta figure out how to share this shit, though.
Exactly.
This is all of our world. Like we gotta share it. People don't want to share it.
Exactly.
You don't got nowhere else to go.
Exactly. Just, okay, your opinion is your opinion. My opinion is my opinion. Sometimes they may intersect, and that's fine.
Right.
But if they don't intersect, then go to your corner, boo-boo. I'll go to mine.
It shouldn't intersect with violence. Like, why people get so mad? They want to erase people. Usually it's minorities. Hello, minority. We in several minorities. Hello, intersectionality. But, like, the only time we should really cross paths is when, like, we in the bread aisle. Like, and, like, what that got to do with anything else?
Exactly.
And the whole voting thing, but it's just not a fair, like, like, we live in a bubble. Or a snow globe. Like, we literally...
Let's shake things up.
It's just the world we live in. Like we could just go about our days. Like we know shit ain't right. We know there's systemic racism. Like all of those things are happening. And it's, what we gonna just start a massacre right now? No, we just gonna go with the flow probably until our dying days. And then, but there's some change. It's like back and forth. It's a tug though. It's not just, it don't just get better and get better and get better.
Forward, 4 steps back.
Yes. But you know what? I'm out here and I'm willing to do what I have to do or be a part of the cause for change.
Right. I made my decision a long time ago that I wasn't, because even though, yes, I have leadership qualities and people keep trying to pull them out of me.
People or...
Life in general. Life in general just tries to pull me up to a leadership position.
Accept your duty.
No.
Accept your duty.
I'm lazy.
Accept your
I'm
duties.
irresponsible.
Accept
No.
your duties. Accept.
I am one of very few people who will flat out admit I'm lazy. I don't like responsibility. Exactly. I'm lazy and I don't like responsibility. I am not going to put myself in a position where I know I'm going to slack off because I don't want to.
You're the chosen one. You got to go ahead and do it. Just like when the Power Rangers get the code. They don't just be like, nah, go ahead, Zordon, take it back. They the Power Rangers.
Right. But here's the way I choose to be a leader in my own way. Living my life the way I'm supposed to. Having these small conversations with people who I know, or just having small conversations. We can come to understandings. We can come up with new ideas. I learn something from you. You learn something from me. I'm going to go about my day-to-day life trying to be the best person I can be. Hopefully that rubs off onto somebody else and they'll take that with them. And maybe, no, not maybe, someday in the future, when I'm financially prepared for it and mentally prepared for it,
girl,
I will be able to raise
so never mentally
but maybe one day in the future I will be able to teach another human being that, okay, you have this life. You really have no option to give it back. You have to go forward with it.
I love how you broke them down. You really have no option to give it back.
You have no, yeah, you're here now. I'm sorry.
Hey.
I'm not sorry, but not sorry. You
Right.
here. You have no option to give it back.
Right.
You have to move
It's
forward.
yours.
Exactly. You gonna stumble. You gonna fall. It's gonna hurt. You gonna cry. You gonna be mad. You gonna be filled with anxiety sometimes. It's gonna be stressful, and you're gonna get depressed at times. However, you have to find your way to get up and move forward. Learn everything that you possibly can from everybody.
People get up and move forward. They just take all of that stuff with them.
Exactly.
So I know I for a while was just moving forward, and it was just like no destination. But I'm like, I know I got to keep moving forward until I can get out of the mist.
Exactly.
So people move forward. Life is a revolving door.
Yes, it is.
And what I was going to say to you is I forget that, you're younger or 22, but those things mean something because of the setup of life. So you only can experience so much depending on where you come from, but like you only can experience so much because until you're 18, you have to go to high school. So you're not out here experiencing the world depending on, who you are, depending on what culture, lifestyle, school, talent, So most of us experience life in similar ways with being in this formal structure until we're 18. So then from 18 to in your early 20s, learning to be in a world with like no structure like that, or being on your own, it's a new world. It's a new world. And I was gonna say, I'm like, what? Good leadership comes with a large skill set, and one of those skills is being a good listener and being a good follower, learning and being a good teammate also. So in time, I'm sure when you need to lead, you will lead, because you do it now. But when you should, and that's another quality to know, because everybody think they are leader.
Exactly. But sometimes it's like, sometimes the leader gets to be like, all right, this is not my time to shine. I can take it back.
Right. Sometimes I know. I'll be like, you know what? Go ahead, listen to Trey, because I ain't got this to do. Or he they be like, you got any ideas? I'm like, shh, no, I like what you said. Let me throw my paper.
Right, just rip it up to the side.
I was just jotting down stuff. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, we'll go with that idea. We'll go with that idea.
So I called on, I let a few people know, like, I'm interviewing Ayasha today, and they just wanted to send you a few nice words. So your brother, Michael, I said, what would you say about Ayasha if you could just sum it up in a few words? And he said, explosive, leader, a true gem. She radiates her culture. It oozes the essence of Black girl magic. And that is from your brother, Michael.
Love you, Mike.
How's your relationship with him through dance and through the relationship that you have?
He really is my big brother. I love him to death. And it's so funny because my biological brother, his name is Michael.
That's easy to remember.
Right on. And what else is funny is that I'm a Leo. My biological brother is a Leo, and Michael Cotton is a Leo. That
is funny. He sent me a separate text also. It was like, my Leo. I was like, oh, okay, Michael, okay.
Yes, and it's like, it's so funny because it's like, okay, even though me and my biological brother, we're August Leos. So like, I would like to say that we're a little bit more chill and laid back with our relationship. We really don't have to speak often, but we know that the love is there. And we know that we're going to support each other no matter what's going on. With my dance brother, with my July Leo, it's what you need. Anything is going to happen, we got this. Go, boom, pow, pow. Go. No breaks, all gas.
Right, always telling me to take a break. You need to take a break, Michael. You've been working since birth, okay?
Legit, but I absolutely love him. It's like, he's so understanding, and he just knows the right way to push you.
Michael is really good at catering to a person, he's good at deciphering how a person needs to be handled.
Yes.
He will go out of his way. It takes going out of your way to do that for people, though.
Yes.
He really cares, and he has a big heart. He really does.
Yes.
Like I said, it takes a lot of patience, at least for some of us. So maybe he got a lot of patience. If you do, Mike, let us know where you got it from, because we can use some.
He has patience
But
of abundance.
to be able to communicate and handle and cater to people's needs in that way, it takes a lot of patience.
Yes, my brother is phenomenal.
Shout out to Michael. And I have another little message, from this girl named, Kiva. And she said, Lela, the definition of artistry. Someone who honors the arts with all she is. Superstar. She said MF and star. I ain't gonna go all the way there. Y'all ain't gonna go all the way there. MF and star. The boldest and most beautiful breath of cosmic, African, magical, and musical air. So give us a few words about you and your relationship with your dance sister, Kiva.
Yes, my dance sister Kiva is definitely, she's more than a dance sister. She's a dance sister, instructor, brainstormer, auntie.
So she's your left arm.
basically. And it was really funny because I met her through Lindsay, like when I had to be 17, 18 at the time.
You see, I didn't even realize, like, Kiva older than you by a few years, too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and no, actually, I think I was a little bit younger than that. I think I was like 16 when I first met her for the first show that we did with Lindsay. And we continued to dance with Lindsay, and then I graduated, Lindsay moved, and me and Kiva just kept linking to do projects together, and we pretty much just been stuck with each other ever since. And we just gotten so close. I can tell her anything.
I love y'all relationship. Y'all like fire and ice.
That is a beautiful way to describe it. That is a beautiful way to describe it.
Because you're strong but it's so different, but still strong. But it's good. I love it because you don't need it to be exactly the same. It's two different perspectives of the same cloth.
Exactly. And like within recent years, I feel like that's just the beautiful way to describe it, because I realize even though we are looking at the same picture, but it's like Kiva will go from the detail to the big picture. I'll go from the big picture to the detail. It's the same picture though.
Right. Same picture, but it's just, y'all, I see differently. That's why, I look in the mirror a lot, and I just tell people, I'm like, well, I don't get to see this face all the time like you do. I don't get to look in my eyes. Every time you see me, if you wanted to, you can look me in my eyes. And people always be like, the eyes are the gateway to the soul. Well, sometimes you need to see your own soul.
Legit.
So I like to look in the mirror and look at myself and just be like, and just look at me. When I pass the mirror, I'm like, oh, hey, James. Hey, I don't get to see me. I don't get to see my face a lot. Besides when I'm in the mirror. But you get to see my face all the time. I get to see your face. But how often do you get to see your face? It might sound a little wild, but I'm like, how often do you get to see your face or tell yourself nice things?
Exactly. And in my head, I was like talking to myself in the mirror like, sis, you my boo.
Hey.
That's exactly what I heard in my head.
Hey, I'm a savage. Okay. First of all, I hope they perform at the Grammys, because if Beyonce ain't performing, I'm like, all right, who next? But there's some other ones that be coming through with some performances, because I just don't like a person who just be standing there. It's different if you singing a ballad. Right. But I want to be entertained. I want to be entertained, okay?
Exactly. Dance, move, do a little something, shake a little leg.
And that's half the reason I love Beyonce, because she could have just stayed here. She could have just rode a wave. She could have got into a wave and be like, I'm going to just do this and own this. And she just was like, I'm going to just keep pushing myself. I'm going to keep pushing myself. I don't care how much it sells. I don't care who likes it. I'm going to just keep doing it. Whatever. I'm going to do what I want to do. I finally worked enough to do what I want to do. And she made me feel that way now. I'm like, I ain't even did what she did. But here I am, just like you said. I'm like, I want to do my own thing. And I will say Tyler Perry was definitely one of those people that I was like, he, wrote all of his own things, director, writer. I'm like, I want that.
Yes.
Just not so I can say I have my own thing, but I'm like, I like to create. I want to push these things out.
Exactly. I have way too many ideas, and I know it's like once I'm in a place where I can finance the dreams that are in my head, and so I can actually get them in reality the way I see them in my head, I want to have my hands in everything.
You already
I
got
want to be a
cast.
Tyler Perry. Exactly. I just want to have my hands in everything. Like, I literally am still working on a movie script in my head, and
Get it on paper. Just start.
legit.
I have something in my notes that's been there for over 2 years, and it's not much, but I think about it a lot. I'm like, I need to go. I need to add a little bit here, because over time, that's how people make things. Like Hamilton is 6 years in the making, 7 years in the making. But we want results now. My results,
Legit.
I want it now.
Exactly. It's like, because in my head, it's like, okay, I want to have my hand in casting. I want to have my hand in like scene setting. I definitely want my hands in the costumes. I want my hands in the music.
So what you got to understand now is you already got your fingertips in those stuff.
Yeah.
So when it comes to casting, if you suggest anybody for something, you have people you could send to me if I needed somebody for something. You just help me cast. So think about those things that's just what I've been doing lately. I'm like, you know what? I did this. Let me go ahead and add that to my resume. Like, you already started there. It's just like thinking about dancing. Like, yeah, you started dancing in 6th grade with Harambe, but if you think back a little further, you might discover that your passion actually started sooner. Like, when it came to songwriting, I was like, I've been writing songs for a few years, until I realized I've been writing songs my whole life. But I was just like, I wasn't thinking about it as real songs, but I'm like, but why not? I've been doing it since I was in elementary school, since I only had one digit in my age. Like, why wouldn't I consider those things? But I was 8 or I was 7. I wasn't thinking of this being a song that I wrote in a career. But when I went to think back, I'm like, oh man, I've been writing songs. Like, I have a journal that I still have songs from the 5th grade. I'm like, wow, I've been writing songs. This was a love of mine way before I understood what the love was. And those are those things just floating around in our brain, just waiting to come out. I'm like, okay, come on. Any other gold nuggets in there? Like,
right, something. I need a gym.
Can I figure out like how to levitate?
Something.
Like,
right.
Make this dollar change into $50. Like, can I get like
Come
what else is
on.
there? The third eye? Can something
work.
pop off?
Something work.
But as we round off, I just want to say that I learned a lot about you today. And I hope that you reach for the stars. Reach for the stars, as you already have. But I hope that, because you said a lot of things earlier, and I'm sure that you are a confident person, but I think as you grow into yourself more, and then, getting older too, understand and be aware of your presence and your impact that you have, because you're not a reoccurring star. You're not a reoccurring actress in the show. You're not like, it's not the main cast and then the reoccurring. You're in the main cast, So I just want to remind you of those gifts that you have. And, as Karen Clark Green, now Cooks, told me, everyone's gift is not the same size. And some people have to make room for your gift, and the world has to make room for your gift. But don't be afraid of how big your gift is. Okay? Don't be afraid, girl. Now, before we go, I like to do this. I ain't done this in a long time. Is there any questions that you want to ask little old me? Anything you thought of? Anything you can think of that you don't know? You might want to know that you know, but you don't know a lot of.
That's a good question.
While you're thinking, I could talk to the people a little bit. So
I was about to say, I got it.
Oh, go ahead.
Where are you at in a spiritual place right now?
That is so funny. I just feel like all of these are like these signs, right? And it's been happening to me all day, and I'm just like, I hate this. But it's one of those things, like, because I have had a rough spiritual journey for my whole life based off of my sexuality, and I don't want to beat like the dead horse, but it's just that thing that was like my chains for so long, and it was so upsetting to have to be in those like invisible chains for so long, especially when you like half of it is you doing it to yourself, and then half of it is like people around you assisting that, unconsciously just doing it. So I had a rough it wasn't a connection. I had a rough journey through it after some years, but I feel very peaceful lately. I feel like I've been going through a lot of changes. Like we just moved, and it wasn't this is what I want to do right now, but I had to and I needed to, so I did it. But the way I feel about spirituality and like the world, like what mainstream religion is, it's like I feel like it's this story that isn't looked at from my perspective in America. Like I feel like when we look at other cultures, it's something that's considered this fact. And as I've had conversations with my friends in the last few days, historical facts as history books. I feel like I wasn't taught to look at the Bible as a history book. I was taught to look at it as, some would say, fables and stories. So it didn't make sense to me. I feel like also when it comes to America as we know it, or countries, people take things and change them. And when it comes to language, we're reading a book that has been translated, but whoever decided this is what this is going to mean. So I just feel like I haven't been told the truth for so many things. So it's like I'm surrounded by people who don't care enough to go to find the truth. But they raised me. Those people, those generations raised me. So I'm in a better place to accept spirituality. But I have my ways that I feel about it. And it's like when I talk with other people about it, I don't really like having the conversation with other people about it because I don't like to be told stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. I'm like, this is my journey and I'm going to do this in my way, especially how I've had to deal with it over the years.
Agree to disagree.
Right. But I definitely feel very peaceful and in a lighter place with spirituality, and I feel like I'm in a new journey. Like I feel like a few weeks ago I was holding on to like this tree, and now I feel like I'm like kind of like floating in air. And I just watched Wonder Woman the other day, and she was like learning how to fly, and I'm like, that's how I feel. Like when I had to like release those things, I just was like, oh my gosh, like now I'm like floating and I'm like in this place that I don't know, like I don't have any control over. And I gotta like trust
that it's just gonna work.
Yeah, and I'm like, I know I have the tools to survive and things, but I'm just like in a new place. But again, like when it comes to spirituality and what I've felt and what I felt, then when people tell me is wrong or how I should feel, like it's just something that I'm on a new journey with, and I'm going to definitely take some time to learn more about. Because I've learned some things over the years. I've did my own like studying, but I'm in a place where I'm not mad anymore. I was pissed off for years. I was angry with the people who I felt like was this representation, but now I don't let the people represent what it is, because they don't represent that. But for so long, that's what the representation, that's what I had to fight. I couldn't see past them. So now I'm like, oh, let me step on over this. And now I can see clearly now the rain is gone. So, and that's just how I feel about it. I'm just in a much better place. But I'm like very like, not reserved, but I'm like, my like,
it is
walls are like a little up. I'm like, my hands and my claws are up a little bit. I'm just like kind of like making my way a little hesitant, feeling
your way through the dark.
Especially people, even when people are like excited for it. I'm like, oh, okay, hold on. I don't need to I don't want to know. It's just, I'm very like particular right now about that with a conversation. It just depends who it is. But thank you for asking me that. But again, that like I don't know how I feel about saying like I believe in signs, because I don't know like what a sign is sometimes, but like when things are a string of a timeline that is like that to me, I'm like, I don't know if I'm looking for that or if it's happening.
That's the thing about signs. You don't know. They just happen.
So I'm like, I can just go with this. It feels good.
Yeah.
Go with my gut, my brain. I said, this feeling like this.
Yes.
Ain't nobody shaking their head yes or no, but this is when I'm going. And it feel good.
If it look like a duck, quack like a duck. It's a duck.
Right. It definitely is feeling good, and like I said, I'm in a much better place. But I started going to counseling, and I'm so happy I did because I'm able to. It's helped me find my peace, just to be reminded. Like, this guy has really been reminding me of what is and what is not. And my quote for the new year is, "Fear is an emotion. Danger is a situation."
Legit.
And I don't want to keep creating these emotions because I'm afraid.
Legit.
So is there anything? Take that. This year I wanted to live more fearlessly and unapologetic. I didn't think that I was, but I was. In ways that I wanted to be fearless, I thought it was something different, but like, I went to counseling, you know? I did some other things unapologetically, but I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to be in different ways. But I ended up completing that mission. So this year I'm like, fear is an emotion. I don't need to be afraid. I don't need to be afraid. I'm only should be afraid if it's danger, because danger is a situation. Danger is happening. Fear is in my mind. I'm not going to let fear stop me or hold me back, especially stuff that I create for myself.
Right on.
Yeah, I flip my hair right now. Y'all ain't see that, but I just flip my hair.
Hair flip.
Well, Ayasha, I would like to thank you so much for being my guest. You're going to be probably my last guest of the year. We're going to round out 2020. Hey. And you know what? 2021 is going to be a better year because we said so.
Exactly.
And you speak it into existence.
Exactly. Manifest what you want, baby.
And I'm glad COVID slowed us down. I'm glad COVID slowed me down. I'm saddened by the things and the lives that have been lost, but we got rocked and we needed to be rocked.
Oh yeah, for a long time in my head, at least, I've been saying the world need a good butt whooping, and this was the butt whooping.
Okay, but we can go back and pull the drawers up now and send us outside.
Exactly. Legit.
Send me back outside because I'm tired of this whooping. You know, I don't want to live here no more.
Listen, we didn't got whooped. We didn't put on time out. I think the majority of us have learned our lesson.
Yes.
I think it's okay to send us back outside.
All right. Just go ahead, Mother Earth. Send us back outside. We sorry. We are sorry. What did we? Oh, we done did something.
We
did.
Us as a human race, we done a lot.
Yeah.
As a human race, we done a lot.
Mm-hmm. But it's gonna be better days.
Yes, there will be. This too shall pass.
But ladies and gentlemen, this has been. Ladies and gentlemen and genderqueers, I'm gonna get it right. I'm not afraid to go back and do it. And you know, this is all raw, real rap raw here.
Exactly.
You know, ain't no edits. This is how we feel. This is who we are. And it's done with love because I am love and you are love. And this is what we are spreading. So everything is here with love. But ladies and gentlemen and genderqueers, I am James Major Burns and
Ayasha LELA Gordon.
And this has been The Third Degree. Bye-bye.